The French President Emmanuel Macron is resisting calls to resign after the collapse of the government led by Prime Minister Michel Barnier.
Françaises, Français, mes chers compatriotes.
In his address to the nation, Mr Macron vowed to stay in office until the end of his term in 2027 and blamed his far-right opponents for plunging the nation into political chaos. He says he'll name a new Prime Minister soon.
I will never take the blame for the lack of responsibility of others, and notably lawmakers who chose knowingly to bring down the budget and the government of France. We can't allow ourselves to be divided or to do nothing. That's why I'll name a Prime Minister in the coming days. I will ask them to form a government in the general interest, representing all the political parties who can participate in it, or at least who agree not to bring it down.
Far-right and left-wing parties united in the National Assembly to move a vote of no confidence against Michel Barnier after he used special powers to push through unpopular austerity measures in Parliament. Mr Barnier has now officially resigned after just 3 months in the job, becoming the shortest-serving Prime Minister in modern French history. He'll remain in a caretaker role. The vote leaves Europe's second biggest economy without a functioning government or budget for 2025. And that's worrying many Parisians.
How can we manage the country? You know, if it's him, if it's somebody else, how can he manage? No majority.
The budget that was proposed at the Assembly by the government was terrible. And so because the government collapsed, the budget won't be this one. We're going to take the budget from the previous year. So it's, in my opinion, it's better.
Planned protests against major spending cuts have taken on a different tone after the collapse of the government. Many demonstrators blame the president for the political mess. Public sector workers fear there'll be more of the same from whoever takes charge.
I don't have any illusion that a new government will help. We have seen these past couple of years, Macron has only nominated more and more right, even far-right ministers these past couple of years. So I don't think that a new government will change anything.
The blame on the president stems from snap elections he called in June that delivered the fractured parliament. Legally, a fresh legislative ballot cannot be called until mid-next year. No party has a majority, meaning the new Prime Minister will likely need the backing of far-right leader Marine Le Pen in the National Assembly. A long-time opponent of Mr Macron, her National Rally Party was a prime instigator of this week's no-confidence vote. Support will also be needed from the left-wing New Popular Front Alliance, which will push its own demands.
If the next Prime Minister implements the measures for which we preferred, including overturning retirement at the age of 64, increase in minimum wages, salaries, then we will support them. Otherwise, we will fight them.
The fall of the French government weakens the standing of the president and is likely to overshadow this weekend's reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris after the devastating 2019 fire. Mr Macron is hosting dozens of heads of state, including the US President-elect Donald Trump, in what was considered as a major celebration for the French leader, who's now contending with more pressing political priorities.